Do you feel like you're doing everything by the book, but your Etsy shop still isn't getting those sales that you were hoping for? Well, the chances are you've been fed some bad advice. In this video, I'm going to break down the 3 biggest lies that I hear about running Etsy shops all the time and why they're actually really damaging and killing small shops like yours and mine. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do instead, so you can stop wasting your time with these other things and to start seeing real results. Let's start with one of the most common questions that I personally actually get. How many listings should I have in my Etsy shop? What I hear most of the time is that you need to crank out as many Etsy listings as possible, and unless you have hundreds or thousands of listings, you can forget about it. You're not going to succeed. And to be fair, there is a little bit of logic behind that. The idea is that the more listings you have, the higher the probability that one of those listings is going to show up in search results. But the problem is that it's not just about numbers. Imagine you have a real life store for a second. Would you just toss a bunch of random products onto a table and hope customers buy them? I hope not. You'd want to make sure every product is displayed nicely, has a purpose, and is something that people would actually want to buy as well. And the same thing goes for your Etsy shop. It's not just about cramming as many products as possible into your shop, it's more about quality. In fact, Etsy actually uses something called a listing quality score. Basically, it's a score that tells Etsy how good each of your listings is based on things like how often it gets clicked and how many sales it actually makes. And Etsy then uses this listing quality score to decide where to rank your products in the search results. So if your listings aren't good, think, bad photos, rubbish descriptions, things like that, then having 500 listings isn't going to make much of a difference because none of them are going to rank. You're building a business here, and each listing that you publish is a representation of that business. So that's why you need to focus on quality over quantity. Okay, so how many listings should I have? Well, there's no magic number here, right? But as a general rule of thumb, I would typically try to aim to have 100 listings in your shop. But I don't want you to pay too much attention to that number. I want you to pay more attention to things like making sure that you're using your photo cards effectively, creating a real cohesive brand and making sure that that's consistent across everything in your shop. And of course, your products and your designs. They are probably the most important thing to focus on. And that actually brings me to my second point. I'm sure you've heard of the acronym KISS. It stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid. And some people really swear by this when it comes to Etsy designs. And the theory is that simple designs sell best. So I hear people saying that all the time, keep your designs as simple as possible. And sure, there are plenty of examples out there of, really minimalist designs that are doing really well, like a t-shirt with just one word on it, for example. But in my opinion, I think a lot of people often get confused by the meaning of simple. Simple doesn't mean lazy. If you're just buying a random graphic off of Creative Fabrica and slapping it on a t-shirt and calling it a day, I'm sorry, but you're doing it wrong. It's not good enough. Absolutely nothing against Creative Fabrica, but hundreds of other sellers have probably bought that exact same graphic and done the exact same thing as you. So in the end, your simple design is just going to get lost in a sea of other sellers selling the exact same thing as you. So we need to step things up when it comes to our designs. And that doesn't mean that you now need to go enroll in art school or sleep with a picture of Picasso under your pillow. There's things that you can do today to create unique and eye-catching designs with little experience. All you need to do is practice a little bit and experiment. Let's hop over to Kittle and I'll show you how I, someone with zero graphic design experience, actually go about creating unique designs for my products. So let's imagine that we want to design a Halloween t-shirt design. Let's say featuring some ghosts. If you go over to Etsy and type in Halloween ghost shirt like I've done here, and you start scrolling, you're gonna start seeing a lot of similarities, right? They all look slightly different, but they also all look the same, in my opinion. There's nothing that makes any of these designs really stand out. They're all just basic designs of some basic ghosts on t-shirts. So let's, as an example, say that we want to create a Halloween style shirt, but we want to focus on the target audience of skateboarders. So people that love skateboarding and are looking for a funny Halloween shirt. Let's head over to Kittle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on New Project at the top up here. We can now select our artboard size. Great thing with Kittle is if you click on Print on Demand, it actually comes with preset dimensions. So for example, I can select the Printify t-shirt option right here, which is the product that I want to create. And that's now created an artboard for us that we can now use to start getting to work on our brand new design. Now, what I've envisioned in my head is maybe a kind of urban-y, streetwear looking ghost, hopefully riding a skateboard with some, you know, kind of edgy, kind of graffiti style text above and below it. Those things that maybe, you know, might be preferred by someone that likes riding skateboards, for example. So what we'll do is we'll go to the bottom left over here and click on Kittle AI. This is actually a built-in AI tool that lets you generate images, designs, and even image sets directly within Kittle itself. And these are really good. I'm always really impressed with how good these images actually turn out. So let's do that. Let's go on Image Generator. And I'm going to click up here on Describe Your Image. And I'm going to say a ghost shredding a skateboard. And I'm going to say urban streetwear style. Just like that. Keep it pretty simple. Down here, you can select what you'd like this image to show up as. So if I click on Show All here, there's lots of different image styles that you can select from. There's also different clip art styles and also different vector styles that you can experiment with. So you can tell Kittle AI what kind of direction you want your image style or design style to go in. For now, just to start off with, we're going to select this one here, which is t-shirt graphic in the clip art styles. So I'll select that and then I'll click on Generate Image and let's see what it comes up with. All right, so it's generated an image for us here and it is a ghosty kind of skeleton-y looking figure riding a skateboard. I kind of like it. I even kind of like the red. It looks like blood splatters coming out of it. Very on theme. What you can also do, obviously, is you can click this again and you can generate another one. And it will come up with a different variation or different design for you. And you can do this multiple times. So I might do this 4 or 5 times and then pick the design that I like the best. For now, I'm going to leave it as is. I actually really like this first design. I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to delete this second one. I'm going to take this first one here and make it a little bit bigger for now. And you can see it's got this kind of gray background. I don't want that. I want the background to be transparent for this design. So I'm going to click on it. And then over here on the right, I'm going to click on the AI background remover. And that's now going to remove that gray background and leave it transparent. Great, and I'll now add some text above and below it. Again, in this kind of like, I'm thinking like a graffiti style text or font. So I need a bit of inspiration here. So I'm actually going to go over to, I've opened this in a new tab, the Kittle template library with loads of different templates that you can use for your own inspiration. You can even use them and edit them to make them your own. It's really, really great. I'm going to go and search for templates and I'm literally going to type in graffiti like that. And it's going to come up with a bunch of designs, it seems, which is great because, again, this gives us a little bit of inspiration. And specifically, I'm on the lookout for some inspiration around a specific font that I can use for our design. I don't want to copy and paste the rest of it. And I actually kind of like this one here. This purpley, looks like it's literally painted on a wall. I like that. So I'm going to click on this and I really just want to know what this font is. So I'm going to click on this. It's going to open the design. And again, you could now, if you wanted to, make any edits that you wanted to this existing design and make it your own. I don't want to do that. I'm more interested in just finding out what this font is. And you can see over here, the typeface is Dakota. Okay, great. So we're going to go back to our original artboard. We're going to select the text tool, click on add headline, and that's now going to open a little text box over here. We're going to make that a bit bigger. And I'm going to add a little bit of text. Now, I actually thought of this beforehand, and that was to create a saying on this. I think it's quite fitting. Haunt the streets, right? I think that's pretty cool. I do at least. So we're going to do that. We're going to add that text here. We're going to do 3 different text boxes. So I'm going to copy and paste this. And now we're going to change the font. And I wanted them all to be the same font. So I'm actually just going to select them all at the same time. Like so. And then I'm going to go over here to text. And I'm going to type in Dakota. Like so. There we go. And now it's changed this font to our Dakota text. Okay, we're not done yet, obviously. The good news is that we can make additional edits to the text. So I'm thinking I want this to be a little bit bigger. So I'm now going to change the font colors. So I think it would be cool if these haunt and the were, let's say I want it to be kind of a red that we also have in these blood splatters here. So we'll do it like that. We'll pick that color out. And let's say I want this streets to actually be, let's say white. Let's say we want it to be white, and bear with me here. It's going to look a little weird for now, but we're going to make this into a white color. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this now and I'm going to go on text shading. And I think it would be cool if this had a little bit of like a block shadowy type background. So I'm going to click on block shadow here. We're going to make this black. And then we're going to add a little bit more offset like this, a bit more of an angle like that. I kind of like that. I'm also going to add a bit of an outline so you can actually see the white text like that. And I kind of like that. So I'm now also going to do the same thing for the other words haunt and the. Okay, we've added some text shadowing and I think it's starting to look a lot better than it originally was, which I like. It's turning into a design that I actually like. I'm going to add some final tweaks here. I'm actually going to move this haunt word to behind the design. And the good thing is we've removed the background. So if I click on to back, that's now behind it. And I'm actually going to make it slightly bigger as well. So I'm going to change this. This is now font size 888. Ooh, don't like that number, but we'll use it anyway. It is Halloween-y, I guess. So there we go. I've added a couple more final tweaks, but as you can see now, we now have a design that's completely unique, right? You're not finding this anywhere else on Etsy. And we're focusing specifically on our target market. It's still simple for us to create, but it is intricate in detail. And it's something that customers may actually be interested in within this target segment. So if you are serious about Etsy, I would definitely recommend to start moving away from these generic, overused, tired designs and start creating something unique. But if you're rubbish at designing, just like me, then I would definitely recommend giving Kittle a try. It just makes things a lot easier. There's a link in the description below. Go check it out. They have a free plan available. They also have a pro and an expert plan. You can use code ETSYDANIELYT at checkout to get 25% off either the monthly or the annual plans that they have available as well. So go check those out after this video. And then I also want to take a second to talk about pricing. It's something I get asked about all the time. How should I price my products? And if you browse Etsy these days, you'll see products being sold for crazy low prices, like sweatshirts for $15, for example. And your first thought might be, oh, I need to then match that price. And it's something that I hear about Etsy quite a lot. You need to be really low with your prices. You don't need to do that. In fact, please don't do that. Let's say you were to list that exact same product as a competitor, that sweatshirt at $14 compared to their $15. Eventually, someone's just going to come in selling it at $13. Then someone might lower their prices to $12. You might lower yours to $11.50. This is known as a price war, and it usually doesn't end well for any of the sellers, because it ultimately means you're all going to end up pricing your products at unprofitable price points. None of you are going to make a profit. Another thing you need to think about is who your target market actually is. Is it perhaps a more price-sensitive customer that's, always on the lookout for the cheapest deal? Or is it perhaps someone that's, looking for a really great gift to buy for someone that's of really high quality? Each of these target markets might have different price points that they're personally comfortable with. And that's something you need to account for in your pricing strategy, not just what the market's doing. And if you're not quite sure what your target audience is, I would always recommend trying to target the latter, those that are looking for high quality gifts for someone. Because at the end of the day, if your product's really high quality and is providing a lot of value to that customer, then they're likely going to be more willing to spend a couple of extra dollars on that. So this is why you need to apply something called a value-based pricing method, but with a slight twist. Let's go ahead and learn how exactly we should price our products to make sure we're getting lots of sales and healthy profit margins. Click on this video next to learn more about that.